Long, long time ago, in a galaxy far away, Naboo was under an attack. Hello and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies with special podcast correspondents Tim and Liam joining us today in the old car. And what are we about here? Well, we are a podcast where we go see a movie and then we talk about it right after the movie in the parking structure in Matt's fiance's car. Right after the movie, we're going to give our gut reactions and we're going to talk about such things as: should you see this movie? Should you not see this movie? Can you bring a date? Should you go by yourself? Can you bring your kids? Do you have to pay attention to everything? Can you snack, nap, or craft if you feel like slacking off? You know, or do you need to like really hone in and just center yourself and just let the movie take you away? We're going to talk about some of that, all of that, sometimes none of that. I am Todd Dover.
And I'm Matt Malloy, and we are going to talk about some of that, all of that, none of that. Always. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yes. Our promise to you. We talk about things. Today, we're going to talk about a movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Something extra D there.
Yeah. Went crazy. What is this movie all about? We'll talk about that in just a minute. But Tim, who's in this movie that we might know?
Well, it's mostly voice acting, but we have a couple of actors here. We've got Pedro Pascal, who's been playing the Mandalorian since the TV show, although he mostly does the voice, and we have a stunt actor in the suit most of the time.
He does not get enough credit, and I'm sad I don't know the person's name.
His name was Brendan Wayne. They did list him third in the credits, so
yeah.
I give him credit for that.
There were two people, in fact, listed.
Yes. And then we have the voice of Jeremy Allen White, who's most famous for being on The Bear, and he was also in the Von Erich movie. He's the voice of a Hutt that we meet along the way. And we have good old Sigourney Weaver shows up as a New Republic general. Did they say
Colonel?
Colonel,
yeah. And being in a sci-fi movie, not strange for her.
She wasn't in the show, right? Anyone?
No.
This is the first time we've seen her? All right.
First time she's in Star Wars.
And the only other major name in this would be the director, who is Jon Favreau, actor who's been around a long time, also directed...
You're missing a huge person, Tim, who was in the movie.
Who did I miss?
Martin Scorsese.
Oh, Martin Scorsese, the voice of Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
As
Steve
one of
Blum.
the aliens he shakes down.
Yeah, that's true. Steve Blum is pretty famous for his voice.
That's fair, yeah.
Martin Scorsese is just famous, period.
Yeah, right. And Jon Favreau, like I said, directed it. He directed, of course, the Iron Man movies and has appeared in most of the MCU, as well as have his own film career over the years. And he's running this. So.
I do appreciate that, though you couldn't really recognize him, Anthony Daniels does get a credit in this.
Oh.
I missed
that.
Not as C-3PO.
No, he's like an air traffic
controller droid.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
But you would only know that if you read the credits carefully.
Yeah. I only know because when I asked Google if there's anything after the credits, they were like, no, but here's a couple Easter eggs along the way.
And there you go.
There you go. So what is The Mandalorian and Grogu? Grogu, all about? Well, The Mandalorian is a guy in armor, and Grogu is Baby Yoda, is what he's referred to as sometimes. He's the same species as Yoda.
Someone's car dying? What's happening?
Yeah, there's a spacecraft taking off
nearby,
yeah. They are off the 3 seasons of a TV show they were in together. And now they're in this movie together.
Let's not forget there's a whole episode of the Book of Boba Fett that is just about the Mandalorian. Boba Fett's not in it at all, that episode.
Fair enough. Well, we won't forget that because you told us.
Yeah.
And what does this movie have to do with those two people? Well, they're off doing what they do, I guess, in the show. They're trying to kind of capture or kill people from the remnants of the Empire. Bad guys from that time period in the Star Wars universe, and so they're off doing that, and they go on they do that a little bit, and then they go on a special mission to capture a really famous bad guy, so famous they don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah.
But they know he's bad, and they're gonna find him, and they end up meeting up with some Hutts. They end up meeting up with actually the son of Jabba the Hutt, And they go on adventures and they get hurt and they get better and they have a big fight. And then at the end, there's spaceships that come in and shoot things. So
Star Wars.
Star Wars movie ever made.
So that's what it's all about. Todd, what is your gut reaction to this fine movie?
All right. Okay. I had a hard time with this movie because I think the biggest problem, even as a person who's almost watched everything, I couldn't find myself caring about anything in this movie. And a lot of that's because of what's happened in the show, and I'm like, the amount of support that Mando has cultivated over 3 seasons is like, you're part of the Mandalore army at this point. Like, I mean, like, there's just so much backup, and it's never talked about in the movie, like, at all. Like, and you're like, okay, like, and then there's, I'm trying not to pick it apart. Like, there are good things in here. Like, I think there's some beautiful shots. The practical effects are cool looking. Like, all that's really cool. Favreau's great at that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's in the details, I think. There's 2 big problems with this movie, in my opinion. It's in the details. And there's probably details that are, like, so good down Star Wars lore that most of it's probably over my head, and I'm totally willing to admit that. However, the details that are lost in this movie are things that they set up and then are lost almost immediately. Like, there's a whole water fight in this movie where, like, the first thing we learn is, like, oh, Mando sinks because he's wearing armor. Great. He can't float. He has to climb up through the water. And then the rest of the fight scene, he's floating almost all the time. Unless he's standing on, like, a, branch or something, which seemed to be conveniently all over the place at times. Yeah. And it was like, all right, okay, we're trying to get to point A to point B here. It's just weird. It's those little details like that. Grogu doing Jedi stuff that I'm like, how in the world do you know that? Like, I know there's a whole section of Grogu's hung out with Luke for a little bit, and I guess maybe that came through, but it's also like something that's never truly done in the original Star Wars, unless it's in a book someplace that I've never read, which I understand are out there. But, like, it's just in those kind of details that I was like, we needed more. Like, the story itself is not strong enough to be a movie. It could have easily been an 8-episode season. Like, and the movie doesn't grab you and pull you in. It relies on the fact that you know everything going into it and that you're going to be happy no matter what. Like, because you're watching The Mandalorian, who's very popular. But I would say my other biggest issue, and this is with Star Wars in general right now, is that we cannot get over nostalgia. And the thing that makes me mad is that we're not even nostalgic anymore to the original movies. We're nostalgic for the cartoons and the good shows that came out in the early 2000s. That the only way we sell stuff now for Star Wars is if we include those characters. Like, Zeb's in here, who's in Rebels and such, does almost nothing. He's just here for a bump and be like, well, you like seeing this character in Rebels. Come see this character do almost nothing and talk through the whole movie and make little quips. Like, it just is like, it's too much nostalgia. You're just trying to bring back characters that aren't even in the originals. Like I said, it's all this kind of good show stuff that came out in the 2000s that they're trying to capitalize on now because they had a huge following. And it just kind of feels like we can't get out of the nostalgia trap for Star Wars. 8, 9, I don't know, what was it, 7, 8, 9? Are those the two?
Yeah.
Okay, 7, 8, 9 are run by nostalgia, I guess except for 8. Yeah. 7 and 9 are, like, it's all about nostalgia. And now we're into the next stage of nostalgia, which is like, remember these things that maybe most of the population didn't watch? Well, they've got an okay following, so now we're going to start sporadically throwing things out there so you can be happy with that. And I'm sure as a fan, a lot of people will go, oh, that character, yes, great. I'm just not one of those people. I come to the movies for a good story, a tight story, and this one's not tight at all. There's a whole point in this movie where I felt like I could have taken a nap. and it went on for way too long. In fact, I have a rule that I don't get up and go to the bathroom during movies because I don't want to miss anything. And I did. I got up real fast and was like, I'm not going to face this pain. So, I mean, it's like every Star Wars movie or anything Star Wars that's come out recently. If you're a Star Wars person and you are all up in it and you love the lore and you've read all the books and you've done all the stuff, this is going to fall right in line probably with what you want to see. You know, some good Easter eggs, a fine, fun tale, kind of, like, and then, you know, that's kind of it. But beyond that, I couldn't say it's a great movie. Like, I couldn't say it's a maybe award-winning movie and maybe some of the effects and stuff like that. But Jeremy Allen White gives the worst voiceover performance I think I've ever heard in this as Rada the Hutt, where it's just, I thought it was so flat. And then you have a little 5-minute scene with Martin Scorsese, who is full of character.
Yep.
And I was like, can I get more of that guy in here, like, the entire time? Because Rada's pretty flat and monotone and nothing. As this character that's supposed to be super passionate, I want to escape my past, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it just was, like, monotone the whole way. And I don't know if just Jeremy Allen White's voice acting is not his specialty, or maybe people were like, well, he's doing something, I'm going to let him roll with it. But it didn't land with me at all. So, like I said, if you're into Star Wars, this is probably going to check all your boxes that you want to see and have fun with. And I'm super happy for you that it's happening. If I'm critiquing it as a movie, it is really wanting in some areas. It is lackluster in some areas. And that's going to affect my rating. So... Liam, as the resident Star Wars expert between all of us here.
Yeah, let's get your...
I think it was overall really good. I do agree that it did kind of feel like just a condensed TV season plot. It kind of had, because of that and because it doesn't look too distinct visually from the TV show, it did kind of have a TV movie feel to it, where it felt like it was trying to wrap up the show, but without actually referencing any of the major plot points or elements of the show.
Right.
It did pull a lot from the two main cartoon series and the comics. Like, we got the droid Gotra, Rada Hutt, Zeb, and all these locations that were originally in the cartoons. And that makes sense because it was Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni making this movie, and they were the big brains behind the cartoons.
They've been given the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah,
at this point, so.
I do think overall it was a serviceable story. It did kind of have some pacing issues. I do think some things should have been done quicker, and some things should have had a little more focus on them. But I think overall it was okay. It was inoffensive and it was fun to watch, but it wasn't doing anything mind-blowing. Ever since the first Star Wars movie count and George Lucas started letting people make other Star Wars stuff like books, comics, video games, Star Wars has always been described as a sandbox that you're allowed to play in and bring your own toys in. And the most recent live-action show, Andor, was really good, and the director of that described it as he's looking what's in the sandbox, and he was trying to add new stuff rather than just take out. This kind of felt like they were just working what was already in Star Wars. There wasn't any new, really, world building or interesting lore buildup. It was all stuff that you'd already know from watching the TV shows or the other movies, with a few kind of interesting things like the Anzellans are the little tiny aliens, and they got a little tiny spaceship. I thought that was really cool and just made sense. Ultimately, it was good and it was fun, but it wasn't mind-blowing or anything that added a whole lot to the world of Star Wars.
Sure. Tim?
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of represent the everyman moviegoer here, where I have really only seen the Star Wars movies that have come out, including Rogue One and obviously all the trilogies and all that, but I haven't watched any of The Mandalorian, any of Andor, any of Boba Fett, any of Ahsoka, any of the cartoons, any of it. So for me, I'm going in just entertain me as a movie. And I thought it was well made, well shot, felt like Star Wars. So I can't give any of that. The music cues, the clock wipes, all the things that make it Star Wars were there. But was I engaged in what's going on? And maybe because of my detriment, because I didn't watch the show, I don't know anything about Mando. I just other than pop culture references to him, and like you mentioned Jeremy Allen White being flat. I thought Pedro Pascal, maybe one of the most charismatic actors working right now, is about as flat as can be as the Mandalorian. I mean, I understand the character is meant to be a kind of cool school bounty hunter guy, not supposed to have a lot of personality, but he really doesn't. And it's Pedro Pascal, so okay. And then, and under the helmet, you're not even sure it's him sometimes. So it's like, that's what you're paying him for? So I don't know. For me, it was just like, it was there. It had no connection to anything I really knew other than general Star Wars lore.
Yeah.
So I fully admit to being kind of lost as to what's going on, but I could follow it, but that doesn't mean I was interested in it, and it doesn't mean it has any consequences to anything I've watched before or after. So it's like its own little chapter, and I don't know if it's something I'd even think about again. It's not even not like it's a bad movie or anything. It's nothing that appeals to me. And I can appreciate the Star Wars fandom and all the various things that they've given their fans over the years, and that's great. And this is, I'm sure, like you said, a perfectly fine chapter for that fan base. But for someone like me, it's just like, I could have missed this and not felt the thing. And it's sad to say that about Star Wars, because Star Wars has some great stuff in it. And, I thought Rogue One was one of the best, non-trilogy movies I've seen. I thought that was great, even though it had an ending you know where it was going to get to. But I thought to me, that was if this is the potential of what Star Wars can be, let's go there. And from what I'll admit, I haven't given the shows and stuff any watch, so that is on me. But they haven't hooked me. So I just so this being a continuation of something I didn't watch, had a more of an uphill battle for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay, and I admit that. So I'm not trying to crap on it. It's just as for the everyman, it's it was perfectly fine to sit through. I wasn't sitting there going, ugh, but I was also just not that invested. And so it was I can appreciate the filmmaking and the felt like a Star Wars movie. Like I said, that's a credit to it, because I didn't feel like this. What is this? It was oh, this is Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars. But yeah, I just it didn't do anything for me. So I leave it going, okay, fine. I saw it, great. And so that's all I've got to say.
Matt? Fair, Matt.
All right. Well, I've seen all the Star Wars movies, and I've seen some Clone Wars, and that's I haven't seen the Mandalorian show at all.
Right.
So it's pretty similar to where you're coming in, Tim, because there's not a ton of Clone Wars stuff in here. A little dash.
Mm-hmm. Mostly locations.
Yeah.
And droids.
And droids. And huts.
So it's exactly like
yes. I felt pretty disengaged.
Yeah.
Throughout this watch of this movie, Todd, you mentioned it. There's just some periods of scenery that are just way too long.
Yeah.
Just mind numbing a little bit. For me.
Sorry to interrupt you, Matt,
take it from a 2 hour 15 and take it down to a 1:45.
Yeah.
But before you get rolling, Matt, the one other thing I meant to bring up, and I made a note of this while I was watching.
No, we're
the
past
movie,
you, Tim.
is
we can't just jump back, all right?
Too dark. All these scenes with special effects and fight scenes and stuff, and they are shot horribly. I could barely tell what's going on. And usually that doesn't bother me. I could sit through the Transformers, Michael Bay movies and know what's going on. But this was horribly shot as far as the action scenes. And I thought that everything was in the dark and hard to see, hard to know what's going on. You already got a guy in dark armor. And it just, to me, that was the biggest disappointment to me. Is the cool stuff is supposed to be the action scenes. It's Star Wars. And couldn't see the war.
Not Star
darkness.
Polite conversations.
So sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, so one thing that I'll disagree with something you said, Todd. You said there was too much nostalgia. If you haven't watched the shows, to me, there wasn't enough nostalgia.
That's fair.
I was
That's
looking
fair.
for more.
I get what you're saying.
I was looking
Nostalgia's
for
moved on to the newer age stuff.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So for me, I was like, give me a little bit of
Yeah.
movie connection.
Give me a little Darth Vader.
Yeah,
All right, let's
somebody.
There's a few stormtroopers.
Luke show up or something.
There are a few stormtroopers. That is true.
There were stormtroopers doing
I-
nothing as usual.
So, in my opinion, no movie or no show has adequately shown what I want to see, which is how do you destroy the Empire and then save a galaxy that's so big and stuff like that. You just get snippets of it, of like little missions here and there, and I'm like, but I want to see how you're actually doing this on a large scale thing, like.
You want to know more about the government.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on
the
here.
Senate
I have
voting
books
on?
that are good for that.
Okay, so,
all
but
right,
see,
fair
but considering how
I'm not
many
gonna read them, but-
considering how many Senate meetings we had to sit through in some of these,
Yeah,
It's true. Like, I'm like,
The Senate
Very
meetings are the
true.
coolest part of the prequels.
Oh man.
it's
So
Star
wars.
Government.
Anyway, go ahead.
yeah. So in general, I was trying to think if I think this is the worst Star Wars movie of all of them.
Oof.
Wow.
I mean, maybe.
I think it's
And it's
close.
not saying it's a bad movie,
Yeah.
but like
I might be saying it's a bad movie.
Okay.
I might be.
Oh.
Oh, I get it.
Someone's having a hard time finding their gut reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I-
Well, no, it's what you're at right now.
I really didn't like the first movie. The first, not the first movie, but
The first return.
episode 1.
Oh,
I really didn't like that
yes.
movie.
Yeah, that's a bad one too.
But
Yeah, but it has the best lightsaber duel in it. Like
that's true.
That's what's
But-
hard when people.
but
But
bring
think
up
about how much
Weird
pod
Al's-
racing there is.
There's too much. Yeah, no,
Way
I'm not
too
saying
much.
It's like a
it's
solid
good
8
movie.
minutes.
Going
of
to
pod
your
racing.
intro, Weird Al summed it up in 5 minutes, and I don't have to watch it ever again.
Yeah, but I can watch the Darth Maul fighting just on repeat
Oh, Ray
because I
Park.
think it is
Ray
the
Park.
best Star Wars duel.
That's true.
in
You're right.
all the movies.
So I think that this might be the worst Star Wars
well,
movie.
I wasn't
in my
trying to
opinion.
get you to say this
No,
was the
I-
worst.
I-
Yeah, don't hold back, man.
I
Oh,
think that's what I'm saying.
There are the Ewok movies.
Those don't count.
Oh,
those
okay.
those are not counted.
I also haven't
Unless
seen
it's
that,
Return of the Jedi, which is the best Star Wars
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
in my mind.
All right,
So-
down there, man.
So anyway,
It's Empire. Get out of the car, even though it's yours.
I've got Rogue One right up there, but
I like Solo.
I never saw so.
All right, Liam, you gotta get out of the car. I like Solo too. I think
Yeah.
I got a bad rap. I think.
all right. So
Sorry,
yeah,
Matt. Conclude your
Matt,
thoughts.
finish your thought.
my thought is that I didn't really like this movie, and I do think it's the worst Star Wars movie that I've seen.
Wow.
Which I've seen all the Star Wars movies. So
Man.
Yes, you said
I'm
everything
saying
that's
it's the
come out.
worst.
Are you listening, Jon Favreau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that.
Come on the podcast for a rebuttal.
Yep.
Yes. So
All right.
that's where I'll leave it.
Well played.
Okay.
So how many completely illegal, out of jurisdiction bombings would you give this movie? Because that does happen,
Yeah.
and it's a little egregious. So 0 being the worst, because then you have none, and who are you
Nothing
bombing?
left.
What are you
Nothing
doing?
left.
Like, there's nothing. 5 being the best, because then you're blowing up 5 different places and ruining 5 different futures. I don't know. Like 5's the best. Matt?
Yeah. So I'm going to. This movie, I just felt like the whole movie was like muted in its
that's good.
intensity.
That's a good one.
And I felt like I never worried that anyone was going to get seriously hurt.
Yep.
I never worried about how things were going to turn out.
Nope.
And I never felt like a sense of urgency until like the very last scenes of the movie when there's
Right.
a big spaceships coming in and shooting.
Right. Yeah.
So that really, to me, left me with a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm going to go with 2 unsanctioned bombings out of 5 for this movie.
Tim.
Yeah, I'm right in the same area where you are, Matt. It's just like I said, for the people who wanted this, I'm sure they liked it more and it checked whatever boxes it needed to. For the layman like me, I was just like, all right, it's inconsequential is the word I'd use. It doesn't seem to have any lasting impact for me, so I think I'll go with a 2 as well.
Okay.
Liam?
2.5.
2.5.
Right in the middle.
It was fun. I
It was a
enjoyed it,
movie.
but it was
It was
Didn't push
nothing
any
was mind
boundaries.
blowing.
Yeah.
I feel like you said it didn't shake the wheel up or try to do anything different.
It was very safe. I think is the way.
That's a good word.
Well, it seems like to me that they'll start season 4 of Mando, and they won't even reference what's going on here because it has nothing to do with what's going on.
That's what I mean.
There's no
It'll
lasting
never be brought
impact.
up again. Like,
Yeah.
Like maybe they'll have Rada in the background of the
They
base,
could
like
use him one more
scooting
time,
yeah.
along. But one thing I didn't mention that I did really like is that of all the main characters you see consistently, Mando was the only human. It actually did feel very alien that you had Grogu, the Anzellans, and Rada. They were all aliens all around.
That's fair.
And I feel like that's one of the things a lot of Star Wars projects have.
Yes.
They've had too many
humans.
humans
Sure.
or just people in makeup,
I'll give
but
you
this
that.
was
Yeah,
properly.
it's like Godzilla movies that have too many humans in it.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
We know what we're
Yes,
here
yes.
for.
No, we're
we
going.
know we want to see a giant gorilla fight a giant
Yes.
monster. Like,
Correct.
Exactly.
You're right.
fair enough. Well,
Where does that put you, Todd?
one thing that I forgot to mention that is counterpoint to Matt's nostalgia thing is that can we get some form of new Star Wars where the enemies can shoot and are not bad? And there were too many scenes where Mando went up against 50 plus people and didn't seem to struggle at all.
That's why the Empire fell.
I mean, like,
God.
and I got the stormtroopers who can't hit anything, and he's just mopping the floor with them. But then I'm like, droids.
Creatures.
Like, yeah, I'm like, droids, like, every time, it was, like, hiding in the forest or whatever, I'm like, those aren't, like, eyes looking. Those are, like, robot sensors looking.
Yep.
And this brush isn't going to hide you from that. But that's just me. That's just me.
There were like 5 times he should have been dead and didn't die.
There were a lot of times in this movie, and this will be the last time I crap on it, I promise. There's a lot of times where not just Grogu, but mostly Grogu is this Deus Ex Machina, where it's like, we can't figure out where to go from here. Let's have Grogu do something and save the day. There's at least 4 or 5 times where things just work out in this movie, and you're like, what? Like, oh, you want to go storm this castle, but you don't have any weapons? Well, here's a downed gunship, like, or whatever, right out of nowhere, where that's fully stocked and ready to go. Like, so, yes. All right. I'm going to be a little lower than you guys. I do think the good things in this movie are pretty good, and they did pretty good at it, and I think there is some enjoyment to have if you go see this movie. So even though I'm going to give it like a 1.8, I think if you're already a Star Wars fan, you should not listen to me and go see this movie because
You're already going to see it anyway.
yeah, I mean, I don't think anything we would say would cancel that, but I don't want Star Wars fans to suffer anymore.
I agree with that.
I feel like there's
They
been a
deserve
lot of
better.
suffering,
Yeah.
and the shows have helped get us past the horrible newer movies and stuff like that. But it's still like, I want good things for Star Wars fans, and I don't think this was
It's
it.
an interesting
I was hoping
world.
this was going to be it. Like I was like, no, this is going to be a banger, and stuff like that, and it wasn't. And I want good things for Star Wars fans.
Andor was just too good. Now we have to have some sucky Star Wars.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Last thoughts?
Yeah, just it's there.
Yeah.
I like all the newer Star Wars movies, by the way.
I'm not saying they're utterly bad, but
I have no
they're
problem with the newer
rehashes of the
trilogy.
originals.
I had no
For
problem
7 and
with
9,
those.
8 was its own thing and was
And
not great.
like
for
I said,
it.
I stand by Rogue One. I think that was a great.
Yeah, Rogue One's a great movie. Like,
Agree. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we review The Mandalorian and Grogu. And we gave it an average rating of 2.075. Unsanctioned bombings out of 5.
genuinely did not see that coming.
That's
Like, I
rough for
thought,
Star Wars. That's rough for Star Wars.
I thought I was gonna have my typical problems because I'm myself and I can't let myself have a good time. But I really thought it was going to deliver on a lot of areas, and it seems like it's not, and that's kind of sad. But
It's
it
doing
did
well.
it's going to do gangbusters. It already did. It already made back
And it
its
had a
budget
small
and its
budget.
opening
Yeah,
weekend.
right, yeah.
And we have to remember, it's for 12-year-olds. Like
That's
all Star
true.
Wars,
I mean,
it's for
yes.
12-year-olds.
Families went to saw it. So like families were taking their families to it. That's fine. Great. Good for them.
Yeah.
They
That
probably
doesn't mean I'm going to let John Favreau off the hook for his movie.
No.
now.
Well, no, of course.
We have a standard here at this
He made
podcast.
Elf. We know he can do well.
Oh yeah, we know
Yeah,
Favreau
yeah.
can do good stuff. Yeah. Like you said, safe. This was safe.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that movie up. That's great. I love that movie. Okay, so we didn't really like it, and we say probably don't see it.
Unless you were
If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to see it no matter what we say. And we'll just say, like I said, it's the worst Star Wars movie. So on that note, thank you for listening to the old podcast.
I mean, you might be convincing me, Matt, honestly.
It's not hard to get there, I don't think.
Yeah.
I do really hate Episode 8 just because of everything.
Yeah.
I hate episode
But
2.
it still had great fight scenes.
I hate episode 1.
And it still had... Yeah, I don't know. You might be convincing me of this.
I also hate 2 and 3 because Hayden's so bad. Sand.
3 has my second favorite lightsaber duel,
Fair. That's fair.
which is if I ever want to see that movie, I just fast forward it
Yes,
to
yes.
that lightsaber duel, and I'm like, I'm good.
I mean-
That's all I needed to see.
Still, everything's better than the Ewok movies.
I believe that.
Well,
I choose
yes.
to keep my mind pure of those. Never see them.
I've never watched them.
Never had the urge.
All right, Matt. Whoa. Sorry.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a review to
That's
give
right.
from last week's movie.
We do.
We're just gonna give our numbers because we had some technical difficulties last week, but
But
we
we
thought
wanted to
the
get
movie
noticed.
was good enough that we wanted people to know we saw it, and we wanted to know. Did we do numbers last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we
okay.
got them.
And I'm pretty sure it got a very positive.
It did.
thing,
Yeah, we
so.
saw the movie Obsession last week, which is like a kind of horror movie with
Thriller, mystery.
mystery, thrown in with some wishing and anyway,
Supernatural.
yeah. Basically, the movie's about a guy who makes a wish for a girl to fall in love with him. Think he's the best ever.
All that comes with that.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for real. But we really liked the acting by the main actress.
Inde Navarrette. Her name should be known.
Fantastic.
She was excellent.
And
Carried that movie.
she did really well. And one thing that I really liked about it is this breakthrough kind of like she had this. She was in love based on this wish, and yet she still broke through with her true self in moments and was horrified, and really did that nicely.
Great music,
So,
great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing was
So
well done.
yeah, we gave it over 3 across the board and gave it an average rating of 3.316 repeating,
Nice.
Worth going out to
which
see.
is really good for us.
And by now you've probably heard all the good reviews about it.
In
Yeah.
fact, I think it's one of the few movies this year to get more in the second week because of buzz.
Right.
yeah, for sure. So
Now I want to be clear, something that the audience is going to miss from our first time recording, and
Yes.
I'm just going to recap.
Yeah, you should.
yeah,
Is how sweaty I was last week when we saw that
Yeah.
movie because I don't do well with cringe. And it's a
and
cringeful movie.
It wants you to feel uncomfortable, and it
and
does.
I wasn't prepared for how sweaty I was when the movie
Mm-hmm.
was over. Like I was suffering, and my shirt was wet, and I was like, I don't like to go to the movies and feel like I just went for a swim.
but it was worth it.
But
the
it
movie-
was worth
no,
it.
the
I'll agree
movie
with that.
set-
It's
set
a
the tone.
genre
Yeah.
that's just not my genre. Like it was never gonna be a 5 out of 5 because I don't like cringe. It's hard for me. Apparently, it makes me sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So
But I think your rating and our ratings attest to how good
Totally
it was
still
because
worth
it
it,
rose
yeah.
above your
absolutely.
anti-buy.
I mean, any movie that can be made off of $750,000 and then make $16 million in its first weekend,
and get more at 22 in its
and
second.
only get real media attention after the reviews
Yes.
came out. It wasn't like it was
No,
totally
no,
built up or
right.
anything. Pretty much, your markers are there that you're gonna enjoy this movie. I think.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Natural height.
Yes. All right.
There we go.
We've covered all our bases.
Yeah.
We reviewed all our movies.
Take us home.
And now we will say thank you for listening to the podcast. Please keep doing that. Download, subscribe, like it, send us messages about it. All the good things. And we will see you next time.
Da 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 da
Da-da.
da da da.
Da-da-da.